everybody. We're happy to have you here with us today for a conversation between you and me. We're going to be talking about
Donna's book.
Yeah. Let me tell you, we've been saying to everyone, well, you should be doing something. Get something creative. Do something you've always wanted to do. And Donna's always wanted to write a book. Well,
don't ask me why. I have no clue.
But she's never done it, and so it was kind of a trial and error, wasn't it?
It was very much a trial and error, and it isn't that I've never done it. I have no clue how to do it either.
Yeah.
So, but fortunately, I have a mentor, which is Angie, who is a writer and has been writing articles for a long time for the Alabama newspaper and human interest items. So I looked to Angie for my mentor, which has worked pretty well, hasn't it?
Yeah, for about a year.
Yeah. So, but here's the thing. I've been driving Angie nuts for about just about a year now. But wasn't it your idea that said you should write a book?
Yes, I just kind of casually mentioned it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's her fault, and I'm just dumb enough to follow lead, so... No, but I thought, well, why not? This would be fun. And this whole thing just started with an incident in my life that came back again on me, and I'm not going to tell you what it is or why or who or anything, but it caused me to start thinking. And that's a problem right there. Because once one starts thinking, it's like, oh my gosh, So I thought, well, this would be fun. It it is a book that people who are our age might enjoy, and it is a woman's book, right?
Yes. The thing is that it was just going to, a work of fiction.
Oh, absolutely.
That's it, yeah. And you should tell them the name of the book.
It's going to be called Yesterday's Kiss.
Oh,
and I think it seems like a good title for that
does.
book.
I mean, everybody's going to wonder, well, what did that have to do with a story that you wrote,
Oh, well, you'll have to tune in and find out.
well, anyway, we embarked on this, and we wanted to share with you just kind of, if you ever thought about writing a book. I mean, everybody has. I'm considering putting my columns in a book, and I mean, I've been considering that for many years.
And you should. I mean, what's holding you up? Just
I
because
don't
you've
know, I'm
been
just
working with
lazy.
me for the last year, and we've been absolutely going crazy.
But anyway, it's kind of, and Donna, once she gets into something,
I do.
she really goes at it,
Yeah.
I mean, like, she would send me a copy of what she had written, and maybe 30 minutes later say, oh, no, get rid of that one. I just did a revision.
And that only happened
I should have
2-3 times a week. I mean, it wasn't.
I should have counted the revisions. We could have made a story out of that.
And here's the funny thing is, I mean, it started because I was doing it on large print and everything, and so for my own sense or something, I had to print it out. I have gone through. I've made the paper companies rich and the ink people rich too. I have to tell you that. And then I make other people read it, how far I am, and I'll say, well, this is close to the end, and then it's not, and then they have to read it again. So I do have a few people out there that are going, I've got this book memorized.
Yeah.
I don't need to see it again.
And that's true. I mean, when you're trying to think creatively, if you thought, you would like to write a book, or just a little booklet. I mean, not anything big, maybe a story.
Yes.
But just kind of.
And mine is it. Let's get right to it. It's not a huge book. It's what they call a novella now. I really didn't know what that was till Angie told me. But so that's like mine is a short romance novel, basically.
Yeah, right. Longer than a short story.
Yes.
But if you guys
But
I mean,
shorter
short
than a
sto-
long story.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
But short stories are fun to write too. So if you ever considered something like that, I told Donna, I said, well, you have to make kind of an outline first, to see where you're going and how it flows. I mean, that's the big thing. How does it flow from page to chapter to chapter?
And I did do that.
Yes.
Huge outline. And then, of course, because I don't know, I thought, well, there's a book for you. And then people, no, you really have to do this and you have to do that. And then I realized I don't remember my English classes at all. So, how do you put a sentence together and things like that? So,
well, when when you're a little older and you're out of, people don't write letters any longer.
No.
Don't write hardly anything.
Yeah.
But, if you are planning to, like a journal or a thing, and, you have to kind of think about, well, all right, it has to make some sense.
Yes.
Number one. And number two, it has to, have the right elements. And you have to have a subject and a verb.
Yeah.
Know where your commas should go.
Yes, well,
Donna's
I'm learning that.
She's a big comma person.
I like to put commas everywhere I found, and I think I learned that I speak backwards. I always say I call it speaking backwards. I don't know what that all means, but it's like I say a sentence, but then it really, when I see the sentence in a way that is better, then I realize that I was talking backwards or something. I don't know what that,
Well,
but I'm kind of.
Yeah,
Day
what
ending.
I emphasize that if you're thinking about doing something creative in writing, that as you continue to write, you get better.
You do, and I
it
did,
does.
and I did get better. didn't
It's
I?
the exercise of doing it. It's like
Yeah.
putting your voice down uh, in a computer or on paper or whatever. So it flows and is conversational. I mean, I know we always throw that at you, but you want to feel a part of what you're
What you're-
creating.
Yeah.
And the reader wants to be there too.
Yes,
Right,
yeah. And
right.
then I went off and I wrote 2 more books that they're not really finished yet, but they ended up being kind of better than the first book because I learned so much from the first book that they
And they were so
flowed
much better. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really weird about that. But I mean, I'm just envy her that she's doing this. She's
Well,
just
but
so
here's-
dedicated.
But here's the thing.
Right.
So now we figure between Angie and I, we're pretty close. So
Yeah,
I
she's
say we,
revised it
I-
one more time.
Yeah, and so we're close now. The grammar seems to be good. Everything seems to be publisher to send it to them and have them look at it anyhow.
Right.
But then we find that isn't as easy as we think. We've had the hardest time
well,
trying to figure out how to send this.
It's really funny because when I was younger, I had this writer's market book and had all the publishers and everything, and I could see what they wanted and such. But things have changed over 30 or 40 years.
Yes, everything has changed.
Ah.
And now we're insane trying to figure out how to do this publishing bit thing. And then so we're finally finished with the book, and Angie and I said to Angie the other day, well, it really isn't about publishing the book. It's just,
What are you
it's
talking about?
writing.
I mean, we worked on this thing for a long time, but it was kind of like we were both down on the dumps,
Yes, we
because
were.
we'd been at it so
Yes,
much, and
yeah.
and there's other stuff in your life, you can't.
Well, there is.
Not for her, but for me it is. But so you think, oh gosh, good. That's just let it sit for a while and then
Yeah.
decide, and but she's at it again.
I am, and I'm going to try and get this thing published. And I'm not saying it's ever going to be on any. I don't even know if anybody's ever going to buy it, but the thing is, what I have found out, I thought you sent it to a publisher and either they refuse it or they take it. But that isn't the way it works anymore. Now you have to pay somebody
To read it.
read it and to look at it. Well, they might read it, but then they send you. They'll say, "Well, you can get this help for $2,300." And I think that's the process. And even if you send it to Amazon and you want help or whatever, but it's like, so now. How much do you really think you want to
You're going to invest.
invest in
But,
that?
and that's your creativity, whatever you want to do. I've told Donna this as well. It's easier to submit to magazines, because all you have to do is send not a really long manuscript either, and
But my answer back was, do they publish magazines anymore?
yes, they do. They do.
Do they? I mean, years ago you get the Women's Journal and all those things. That does Vogue even go on? I don't even know.
Well,
Or
I think probably the way to look at this: do people actually read magazines anymore?
I think
do they
maybe
subscribe to
They're
them or whatever?
What are they online now? Everything is online. Do you think? I mean, I know books are online.
Yeah, books. That is the truth.
Yeah.
But we all have ideas of things we want to do in our life, and we think, oh well, we want somebody to see it other than ourselves,
Yeah.
and so you do start investigating that and thinking, well, how can I, get this published? How can I get this sold? Should I enter a art show? Should I enter a craft fair? It's,
Why not?
It's always, and it's a lot of work, everybody, but
It is.
the thing is, it depends on how much you're dedicated to it. And I think Donna's really, she's dedicated to
I'm dedicated to this. I don't have any clue really why, but it's just been fun, and even now I'm sure that it won't be long, and I'll be into my other 2 books that I have to get them ready to go. But,
well, the big thing is that you're accomplishing something that you've always wished you had done, or or if it's just to in writing, especially writing down your ideas about something about your life. I wrote a thing about my youth.
oh, and it was
Too,
good.
before
I
my-
read it. And that could be published. I mean, you could
Oh,
work
no,
on
it
that. But
couldn't
you
be.
probably,
But anyway.
you could if you wanted to. But we both write poems too. And Angie had an
Yes.
idea of doing greeting cards, and we thought, well, we could do that. We could add that to the list of all the other million things that we do.
Well, we're both artists too. It would be
Yeah.
fun to put an example of our art on the cover, and then a little poem inside.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I don't rhyme poems. I
But
just
you don't
kind
have
of
to. You don't have to rhyme. You just have to put
have
down.
a nice sentiment then.
Yeah, have a nice sentiment. I have done that, and you must have done that too. Printed out some of your artwork. You can make cards. You can just go to Walgreens and make a card out. I do that now for a lot of birthdays and stuff.
yeah.
Just because, why not?
Yeah, it's a neat
I
thing.
can do that, so I do. But anyhow, that's our plight on the book. Thank you for joining us.
We love you all, and please leave a comment. And hey, if you know a publisher that we might be able to contact, we'd love to hear
Let us know.
from you.
We
You'll
need
be a support team for her.
Yes, we need all the help we can get.
And don't forget to subscribe. It's free, everybody, and you'll get a notice every time we put out a new video. So remember always that it's a conversation between you and me.